destroyed.
Wait,
Wait,
I missed that. What'd he say?
Ashes of destroyed. Guild
I missed that. He said, player lose resources and housing upon the destruction of their node. Makes
Guild
sense.
Wars are another separate PvP system in Ashes of Creation, which basically allows guilds to declare war on each other and receive certain objectives to meet a victory condition. This system isn't fully fleshed out as of making this video, but it seems like a more in-depth version of what Black Desert Online currently has, with objective-based components mixed into it.
That was a dope-ass spell.
Guilds can be at war against
but this doesn't look like actual
guilds
gameplay.
at the same
Yeah, I was about to say, it
time,
looked almost like a
Guild Wars
cinematic.
operate outside of the game's corruption PvP flagging system. I think duels, battlegrounds, and arenas are fairly self-explanatory features that Ashes of Creation will have that we all like to see in MMOs.
Pretty much typical MMO stuff.
Overall, when it comes to the PvP content this game will have, it sounds like everything I've ever wanted in an MMO, from the risk versus reward of the caravan system.
Yeah, I do like the caravan system. I do think that is really cool.
To the prestige of your guild owning one of the 5 castles on the server. It seems like this game has PvP content for everyone from casual to hardcore and everything in between.
What is the PvE content?
PvE content will play a massive role in Ashes of Creation and features content in the form of quests, open world dungeons, instanced dungeons,
open world
dungeons,
that's dope.
raids, world bosses, and monster coin events, as well as all the activities related to the growth of nodes. PvE dungeon and raid content in Ashes will be designed for group sizes of 8, 16, and 40 players. This game will feature a mix of both open world dungeons and raids,
content,
as well as instanced dungeons and raids, with 80% of them being open world and 20% of them being instanced. There will be no group finder in this game, so you'll need to join guilds and find party members via social interaction if you want to partake in a lot of PvE content. The way open world dungeons and raids will work is that they...
No group finder. They're definitely going the hardcore approach. The minute that you don't add a group finder method, especially in an MMO, it's just gonna make people who don't have a lot of time. Yeah, it's gonna have the social. I get it. It's gonna have the social aspect. I get it, and I get it. But that's gonna be it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough pill to get accustomed to. Tell you what.
At the entrance, you might be fighting weaker, lower level mobs with fewer mechanics, but as you get deeper into the dungeon, you'll fight tougher.
Especially somebody who doesn't have friends. You get into a guild, it's fine, but then I don't know. It brings me back to the WoW Classic days, which I didn't mind, but the I don't know. I guess I can't talk too much about it until it comes out, so it's fine.
Enemies with more mechanics and better loot. Additionally, something you need to bear in mind is that all of the PvE content that's
nice! That I like. That's good. PvE content is locked behind node progression. Good! So if there's a hard raid, or I'm hoping... Wait. Okay, yes, but even though it's open world, I'm assuming that even if a dungeon is an open world thing, it's not going to be accessible unless the node is progressed to a certain point. But if it is, yeah, I'm assuming that's how it'll happen.
Depends on the location of the nodes that the community decides to develop. One server may have access to completely different raids and dungeons to another server.
Interesting.
Purely because their nodes developed differently in different locations.
Interesting.
So unlike other MMORPGs, the endgame PvE content really isn't a linear progression. It can't be a linear progression because different raids and dungeons will be locked or unlocked.
That's a dope ass looking dragon, bro.
Are developed and what stage they're at. So in a way, it could also be in a PvE player's best interest to participate in a PvP node siege to reset the node that unlocks a certain raid, so that another node can then be developed which unlocks a different raid. A fun, unique piece of PvE content that I think a lot of people will enjoy in Ashes is its monster coin system. This is an event that either spawns randomly or following the advancement of a node, in which a horde of NPC monsters will spawn and attack the node. During this time, players can use an item called a monster coin coin, which they can receive as a rare drop in-game, to turn into a monster and assist the NPCs in attacking the node against other players.
That's
During
kinda
a
cool.
monster coin event, the node can't be destroyed, but buildings, services, and NPCs can be disabled for a period of time. Quests in Ashes of Creation are divided up into 3 categories: events, tasks, and narrative quests. Events are things that happen in Ashes as a result of the development of the world. Successfully completing an event will have
That's
positive
a weird ass looking mount,
consequences
chat.
such
I'm
as
not gonna
buffs,
lie.
and failing
What the hell are
events
the
will
things
have
on the back of its butt?
negative
They look like nipples and like boobs on the back of an anteater's butt.
consequences such as natural disasters or node services being unavailable.
You've been
for a
elected
period of
mayor.
time. Tasks are quests without excessive amounts of text and story around them, such as collect X resources to help build a blacksmith for the node. And narrative
Without
quests
excessive
are more
amounts of
traditional
text.
story quests that can be personal to your class, race, or the region.
Wait, what is that? The mayor has launched a trade route to the desert node. Citizens, help escort the caravan. Okay, so I guess it doesn't tell you what kind of resource then is being transferred.
The
Interesting.
world you're in, with some of these
Transported,
story
rather.
arcs being locked behind further development of the nodes.
Okay.
My balls will thank you.
Oh my god, with these ads, chat.
Now, everybody online say that
Eh,
this is
the lawnmower. I'll shave my own balls later.
If I was a role player, Ashes of Creation is without a doubt the MMORPG I'd be looking forward to the most. This game's being designed with so many great RP features to really add that extra level of immersion.
I was never a fan of
First,
RP.
let's talk about the extensive player housing system.
But
This
that's
game
just
will
me.
have 3 types of player housing: instanced apartments, real space open world freeholds, and static housing within nodes.
Kinda
Each
cool.
of these 3 types of player housing become available once a node reaches village stage or higher. Instanced apartments will become available in a node if a mayor decides to construct apartment buildings within an empty plot. These will work similar to the housing system in BDO, where you approach an apartment door and you've got a list of options for whose apartment you want to visit. Static housing within nodes are real space player housing that players can buy that will be visible to everyone.
The first selection of drive-thru
You'll be
will
able
commence
to
in 6
decorate the
minutes.
front of your house with yard ornaments, seamlessly enter and exit, and see your house grow from a small cottage to a mansion
That's
as
kinda
the
cool.
node levels up.
But I probably
Freeholds are
wouldn't
large
be
real
too much
space
into that,
player
honestly.
housing plots that can be situated within the zone of influence of a node, but
Wanna know
not
about
actually
gear.
inside the node. Think of static housing as buying a townhouse that grows in size over time with the node, but freeholds as owning a set size plot of land in the countryside. Freeholds are roughly half an acre in size, and due to
Damn.
limited space in the world, players can only own one of these per account, whereas apartments and in-node housing
That's
are limited
interesting.
to 1 per server. There's many buildings you'll be able to place
Yeah,
on
but
your
what's the
freehold,
benefits of
such as
owning a house?
blacksmith, stables, and other stuff related to crafting, role-playing, and other life skill-related content players might want to partake in. Each of these 3 forms of player housing will allow players to decorate them with furniture, some of which is functional, others just cosmetic, and when a node's destroyed, players will lose their housing. However, a template will be mailed to them so they can quickly load the layout of their housing hassle-free when
That's
they
kinda
eventually
cool.
find a new home.
That's kind of
As
cool.
with every good roleplay MMO, Ashes of Creation will feature a wide range of races. Currently, the game is planning on 9
Nice.
playable races for launch, each
Whoa!
of which have different
Ayla humans, the Purian elves, the Kavak orcs, and the Dunzenkel dwarves. Kinda dope. What's the, oh, I guess that's the faction. The blue is like, yeah, I guess those are the factions.
cultures, which will be reflected in the appearance of nodes that they
Top 5 right
contribute
there.
to the most. You've got 2 different variations of
Oh.
human.
What is that? Trade, law, hardship, build, order, civilization, stoic, tradition, forge. Oh, the Dunir, the Nukoa. The Renkai, those dudes look sick. Those are like death shaman. What the hell? Empyreans, those guys look dope. And like typical kind of elf looking dudes. Dope. Is there like factions or is there only races? I haven't heard anything mentioned about factions
Dwarves,
yet.
elves, orcs, and a race called the Tulnar, which live underground. Different races will have different racial abilities, and each race will have different base stats. However, there will be no gender lock for any of the races, and every race can play as every class.
Oh,
Other
shit.
nice RP features the game will have include an extensive emote system with interactable furniture,
That's
the
cool.
ability to lean against scenery, sit on benches, and dance with other players. You'll be able to play parlor games with other players inside of taverns, some being
just
dice
lean
games,
up against
others
walls. That's
involving
kind of cool,
cards.
dude.
You'll be able to join different types of
That's
social
kinda cool. Not
organizations
gonna
in the
lie.
game, such as the Scholars Academy, Thieves Guild, or Traders Company. And there will also be a marriage mechanic in the game that may unlock special quests and further functionality.
Now we can
with
simp
player
in-game?
housing. Overall,
Let's
from
go,
a
dude.
roleplay perspective, it seems as though there's going to be more than enough choices and
What
customization
the
in
hell?
Ashes of
It's a
Creation
seal on
that each
legs!
player's journey in this game will be completely unique, and it will also have all the immersive social elements that can help bring people together in an MMO.
It's a
Professions and
seal,
life
all
skills
right?
in Ashes of Creation are referred to as artisan classes.
Profession and
These
life
are split
wait.
into 3 different
Okay,
trades:
profession and life
gathering,
skills.
processing, and crafting. Gathering professions consist of fishing, herbalism, lumberjacking, mining, and animal taming. Processing professions basically refine raw material via the use of certain freehold buildings, such as forges to process ore into bars,
I wonder how long ago this
lumberyards
footage was
processing
taken.
logs to planks, and so on. Crafting professions
Yo,
consist
whatever,
of
Lorena.
alchemy, armor smithing,
Ooh. Alchemy, armor smithing, blacksmithing, carpentry, cooking, jewel crafting, scribes, shipbuilding. Wait a minute. Siege weapons and weapons smithing. Shipbuilding? Oh boy. That just hints at a whole
blacksmithing,
a whole
carpentry,
lot of
cooking,
other
jewel
stuff.
crafting, scribing, shipbuilding, siege weapon building, and weaponsmithing. In this game, each character will only be able to
That's a
truly
dope
master
horse.
one profession. You'll be unable to
Only
master
one?
multiple. You'll still be able to progress with multiple professions, but not to the extent of mastery. This is to
see.
create the need for community interaction and create a sense of identity. Crafting in
Makes
Ashes
sense.
of Creation is also being designed so that it won't become irrelevant like in other MMOs. Crafted gear will be on par with the highest tier drops from raid bosses, and due to being limited to mastery of only one.
Hear that,
item-
Blizzard?
Crafted gear will be on par with the highest drops from raids, making professions relevant. Over.